Hello, Virgo. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Virgo is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. It is totally free, does not cost anything. If there is anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Virgo, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. Princess of Swords. How are we creating space in our lives? This is a card really about trying to battle back some of the onslaught of information, of thoughts, of time-consuming energies around us, right? Trying to create a little bubble around ourselves so that we can just think. Just need a little peace and quiet, right? How are we sort of, and maybe this is a card of we're stealing time for ourselves to think, to write things down. Even if it's like we're trying to carve out a little space in our day so we can have a meditation practice, so we can focus on our work, our purpose, so we can just listen to the unconscious, listen to what's coming up through our heart, How are we finding time to do that in an otherwise crazy, hectic life? Let's put this card into a little bit of context, all right? We're trying to learn something, right? We're trying to do something. We're trying to create that bubble of time and space around us, right? There's a Queen of Wands and Eight of Swords, the Hierophant. There is a Knight of Cups and the Star. We're trying to cut through everything to get to that star, right? Over on the path of the Serpent, we have a Three of Swords, a Nine of Wands. There it is. There's the Ace of Swords. That's saying that, look, we've managed to get ourselves, just even if it's 1 hour, right, of time where we can just kind of be clear, be free. We've shut off the TV, we shut off the phone. You can leave my YouTube video going in the background if you want, but otherwise we've carved out this time, even if it's just an hour, right, to write, to journal, just to think, just to be with ourselves, and to pay honest attention to what we're doing in that moment, to thinking or writing something that is maybe introspective. Okay, our final card is love. Coming into a more peaceful relationship, I think, with ourselves. I think this is self-love, but this is love that's going to radiate out to the rest of the world too. Okay, I might be talking about how to deal with a particular relationship right now. I am feeling an older female energy in your life, and I don't know if there's a strained relationship there or if there's some sort of conflict, but it could be what our Queen of Wands is doing right here, kind of on top of your energy, right? Let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the Factor, Infinite, and Unknown. And we're going to set it down right here with our very own Kelly Kapoor right on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end, but it will tie everything together and give us the confirmation that we need. If at any point during this program you feel like you know what that card is, please put your prediction down in the comments. All right. Let's look around the room quickly. We've got some major arcana. We have the Hierophant and the Star. To me, the Hierophant, we could look at the Hierophant as being this idea of conformity, this idea of, it's easy to get along in life if we just accept the fact that my path has already been paved for me. The path is already there. All I got to do is walk it mindlessly. I don't have to even think about it, right? that life would be easy if we were just to conform to what everybody else is doing and not have any kind of aspiration of our own, right? If we just completely conform to the world, it would probably remove a lot of angst. But would it? Maybe not, right? So we could kind of look at things like we're trying to cut away from the Hierophant and instead embrace our star, our own unique individuality, right? I also wonder if maybe the Hierophant is representing an advisor, a mentor, a counselor, a therapist, an analyst, a friend, a confidant, something like that, right? This might be our investigation. This might be what we're trying to sort of figure out. What is sacred to me? What means something to me? And maybe, I don't know if you're in any kind of therapy or analysis or anything like this, but in a way, the Princess of Swords is trying to carve out that hour of time just to be able to do that, to do something meaningful to yourself that is an investigation into your own sacred journey. Okay? So that's what the Princess of Swords is trying to do, is carve out time to discover both of these major arcana energies. What is sacred to you? What is your higher, truer self kind of saying to you? And who are you and why are you here? Both of these kind of questions, trying to investigate those. But you're being covered by this Queen of Wands. Now, there might be an older female energy in your life, maybe a fire sign person. I feel like there might be some sort of strained relationship there with that older female. But I feel like the Queen of Wands really is you're kind of just taking on the responsibility of life. This is like, I want to be the curious kid in the bookshop or in the library. I want to be investigating myself, my path, my spirituality. I want to be on the hunt for my meaning in life. I want to cut through all the nonsense and all the millions of emails and telephone calls and commercials and everything to get through to what really is meaningful to me. But, well, life, I got to be the responsible adult. I got to put in the work. So the Queen of Wands is saying, I don't have time. I would love to go to analysis or psychotherapy. I would love to take some time in meditation. I would love to take an hour a day where I can just journal, and I would love to be able to carve out a particular block of time that I can dedicate to self-discovery and to asking these questions. What is sacred? Who am I? Why am I here? What's my purpose? What's my mission? And how am I going to fulfill that mission? But life happens, right? We got that Queen of Wands there. Life happens. But we do have fire in our reading here. We've got the water up here. We've got the air down here and a little bit here. We don't have any earth energy because I feel like this is something that really is taking place inside of you. The external considerations are kind of meaningless. I don't think we need any pentacles here to say your life is busy. You got a million things that you got to do every day, and there's a million responsibilities. And there are a million distractions, and there are a million emails coming in, and all we're just being bombarded with information. Each one of us today, in the matter of 1 hour, we probably receive more data than our ancestors used to receive in a whole year. Okay? It's overwhelming. And it can lead to overload. It can lead to this kind of overwhelming despair. We just feel like, especially with the Eight of Swords, we're caught in a loop. We can't get out of it. More data, more coming in, more. And we can't untangle ourselves from that. That we cannot find a way in all of this chaos to find just an hour at a time in, let's say, a whole week, that we can just go and meet with, an advisor or meet with somebody who is not related to our business, not related to our family, not has anything to do with any of that except for that spiritual purpose, right? If this is your analyst, your counselor, your clergy person, or whatever it might be. Even if this is you just conferring with your true self in a block of time and space that you have carved out in your life, to sit with your own sacred energy and ask ourselves these questions and see what comes up. The Ace of Swords then becomes our ability to sort of listen, right? So we have this idea in this official capacity. Let's carve out an hour of time every week, and let's go to our, let's do something related to this. Let's schedule it. And maybe the Princess of Swords has to steal some time away from the Queen of Wands. But let's do that. Let's make an hour a week, or if you can, an hour a day, where you can focus on that spiritual kind of, I don't want to call it investigation, but sort of is, right? That spiritual experience, right? But then also when we get to the Star card here, it's kind of like, if you go to counseling or psychotherapy or something, that's an hour. It's an honest hour. You're focused. You're not looking at your phone. You're there. You're engaged, right? But sometimes as you're driving back home afterwards, that's when you get all your good ideas. That's when you start having all these realizations, all these aha moments. That's when you think of what you really wanted to say, right? So then the Star card kind of becomes that the less formalized, the less rigid energy, where it's just, you got to be able to write those things down as soon as you can. Just have a little notepad with you, have a tape recorder. We want the intentional, focused block of time, but then we also have to incorporate the more random and spontaneous opportunities where we can just journal, we can write things down, we can have a pad of paper with us, and we can record these things. Okay, and this is how we really are getting to know ourselves, getting to know what star we are out in this universe. Yeah, who we are, why we're here, our sense of holiness, our mission. But if we're too tangled up in life with that Eight of Swords, it's not easy to carve out any time. We can't carve out an hour a week, let alone an hour a day for this kind of contemplation or meditation. The Eight of Swords is complicated. The Eight of Swords is overwhelmingly complex. We're in a tangle of wires that we can't get out of. And, when we see the Three of Swords, it's kind of like, life is suffering, right? That's it. That's how it works. It's kind of like we're acquiescing to this kind of pain and suffering and this sorrow. We're saying, that's how life is, and I can't change it. It is. And I think that this is us trying to kind of, trying to find a way to be okay with this. But I don't think it works. Okay, I think this becomes, this could become a lot worse things, right? The Eight of Swords can become a Nine of Swords, can become a 10 of Swords, can become real depression, real existential despair. Okay. And what we truly want, though, is our Knight of Cups. We want to feel as if I know who I am, I know my passion, I feel a summons, I feel a call to action, I feel a sense of purpose in me, and now I am passionately pursuing that. This is what we want, right? We want to give expression to whatever that spiritual essence is that's within us. And that's what our Knight of Cups is doing. The Knight of the Holy Grail. I know I'm on my quest, right? The Knights of the Holy Grail, they're not so busy with email that they can't go out searching for the Grail, right? It's the only thing that really matters. Well, in our life, we need, of course, we need balance. We can't just abandon everything we're doing and get our armor on and get on our horse and go on our quest. But we want to have a little bit of that. We want to feel as if there is a holiness to my life, that there is a mission and a purpose here. It is a sacred journey that we're on. Okay? And the way we get to this experience of life is by trying to carve out a little time and space to get to know that energy, to get to know these are the only major arcana cards here. And they're both wisdom. They're both knowledge, gnosis, right? Sometimes that gnosis has to be assisted, right, by others. Right, we may need a spiritual advisor or counselor or therapist, analyst. we may need that sort of official, I got to schedule. I got to have an hour a day or an hour a week where I can focus on this stuff. And then also we need the spontaneity. We need to pay attention, honest attention to what's going on within us. Maybe we got to carve out another hour of time somewhere else in our lives here where we can do this part of it. But the ability to, even in those moments where you're hustling through life and you're feeling something or you're thinking something or you're having a revelation or aha moment or you have an insight into something, and then what do? We just say, oh, later. No, we have to steal that time, and we have to as soon as we can, we have to write that down or we have to follow that thought. But very often we postpone it. It's like we wake up in the middle of the night. I just had a wild dream, a revelation. I'll write it down in the morning. Well, it's gone, right? And sometimes that's when we get our best insight into things, is in the middle of the night, spontaneously throughout the day. Again, as you're leaving the office, that's when you get the really good idea that you should have said in the office, you know? So we have to pay attention to those moments and give them the attention that they need, that they require. Okay? Now, Path of the Serpent, we're going to talk about this. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. It is totally free, does not cost anything. Your general energy is, of course, the Three of Swords. It is sorrow. It is this underlying feeling that, existence is suffering and there's really nothing I can do about it. This is just the way things are. I wouldn't have planned it this way, but this is life. And we just have to get used to it, right? And yeah, that's true. We do. The world is how it is. We can't, as much as we may try, we can't go back, 100 and 200 years and more simpler life, right? Well, I don't know. Do we have more free time now? Or do you think people had more free time 100 years ago? I don't know the answer. But the idea here is that we have to take life as we find it. This is the time that we are born, right? I mean, most of us. This is the life that we find ourselves born into. This is the time. I don't remember my life 100 years ago. This is the life I have right now. I can't go back 100 years. I can't go forward 100 years. So this is what we're working with. And we have to do our very best to make it work, which means we can't just give up and say, well, I guess I'm not going to discover my purpose. I guess I'm not going to have a spiritual life. I guess I'm not going to know my quest, my destiny, and et cetera, because life is how it is. But that's exactly the point. Everybody through the history of the world has taken the time that they've been born into and they've figured it out. They've discovered their purpose. They've devoted a certain time and energy to figuring things out, and they've come to that realization. They've attained gnosis, right? Now, it doesn't mean that we can't try to set up our lives so it's a little bit easier. Okay? It's kind of like, well, I could be a more spiritual person. I could have a sense of destiny if I was born 1,000 years ago in the forest in India somewhere, and I could just sit around and just meditate all day. That would be so much easier. There wouldn't be a lot of people around. The weather's nice. But that's not the case. That's not where we are. It's not 1,000 years ago. It's today. So we have to take the life, and this is really magician type of talk here. Hopefully the mystery card will be the magician, and then this won't be just me rambling. The magician can take the situation as it is and thrive. Whatever conditions, whatever world we're born into, this is the world in which we have to discover our purpose and work toward fulfilling that purpose. But the magician can also tinker with things a little bit. And that's where our Princess of Swords is trying to steal a little bit of time. Let's rearrange our lives as much as we can so that we have more time for this self-discovery. We have more time to attain and achieve gnosis. So we have more time to ask ourselves and listen to the answer to those spiritual questions. Let's take an hour a day, an hour a week to go to our analyst or whatever it is. And let's give it our full and honest attention. And, other moments throughout the day when we have these sudden insights or revelations or these thoughts that start to blossom, let's give them the attention that they deserve. Let's try to rearrange our life so we maybe are doing things more intentionally. We're not bombarded with just like this onslaught of data and information if we don't need to be. Okay, sometimes it's good to disconnect or to do an intentional sort of disconnect. Again, you can leave YouTube on in the background. I recommend it. But to set those intentional times for disconnect. Now that brings us to our 9 of Wands, strength, right? When we're connected with our sense of purpose, it gives us the strength to deal with our environment. But in order to deal with our environment, we kind of need the strength first, right? So it's kind of like, the chicken and the egg. I don't know which came first. You can't have a chicken and no egg. You can't have an egg and then no chicken, I guess. So, we sort of need to be strong so that we can sort of arrange our environment in a more ideal way, in a way that is more conducive to our goals and our purpose right now and what we're trying to figure out. We need strength to do that. Doing that will give us the strength. It's one of those paradoxes, right? The more connected we are with our purpose, the better we perform. So I feel like once we start doing it, once we start kind of looking for ways that we can simplify certain areas of our life, or we can carve out an hour here or there during the week or whatever to do these kinds of things, the more motivated we feel, the more encouraged we feel. It's kind of like we're motivating. We're getting ourselves nice and stoked up here. And we feel like we can do it more and more and more. And then pretty soon we've carved out these huge chunks of time where we're just sitting with ourselves, or we're writing, or we're journaling, or we're creating, or we are meditating, or we're praying, or we're contemplating. Not ruminating. Ruminating and contemplating are different things, okay? But the strength here, we have to have this strength to sort of push back against the environment. We don't have to just be like a surrendered, hanged man kind of energy where all of this information is bombarding us and there's nothing we can do about it. We have to be strong in this position of our environment. We have to say, look, I'm going to filter things through. Maybe we set up our email so it doesn't ding our phone every time we get an email. Maybe it's just like, I'm going to turn my notifications off. I'm just going to go look at it later at a certain time, right? Or maybe it's kind of the opposite way. Maybe your phone's going to be ding, 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 ding all day long, except for this particular hour. I'm going to put it on silent. This particular hour, I'm just going to be here one-on-one with spirit, one-on-one with my analyst or my partner, my best friend, or my work at hand, or my art project, or whatever it is. And that's our 2 of Cups, giving the other the attention that it deserves, that it requires if it's going to be anything at all. And I feel like this is between you and your spirit, your true self, your purpose. But we could be talking about a romantic relationship or a therapist or something like this, right? Being present in the moment and making the other person or even yourself feel like it's the only thing that matters. The 2 of Cups. It's just me and you. There's nobody else in the room. It's just me and you, Virgo. And I think you have that ability to give your full attention to the other, and in a way that it feels like nothing else exists. I've put my phone on silent. I've turned the TV off. It's just us right now. Full attention, full honest attention. And I feel like we need to have moments of this at least, right? If we can't set our entire life up like this, at least have these moments here and there, an hour a week, a few minutes every day, and then also, again, spontaneously, the ability to have a thought, a spark of idea or inspiration or some kind of insight or revelation, and to be able to, in that moment, in real time, focus your attention on it, give it the attention it deserves, and write it down, or express it, or follow that train of thought through. It's like you wake up in the middle of the night with the dream. Oh my gosh, that a revelation. The Two of Cups is saying, I'm going to wake up, I'm going to turn the light on, I'm going to get my paper, I'm going to write it down real quick. It's not going to take very long, but you're giving it the full attention that it deserves, rather than saying, who cares? It's just a dream. Or, I'll do it in the morning. You know, it's kind of reprioritizing our lives a little bit. Yeah. And, of course, that Ace of Swords is that the difficulty. This is the position of the difficulty for you. It's difficulty carving out time for those things that are important. And I think that once we start to reprioritize, okay, and that's what the Queen of Wands needs to do, is reprioritize things. If we're prioritizing these spiritual questions, okay, then we will make the time. We will steal the time from sleep. We will steal the time from anything else that we can in a reasonable way. All right. Now, I want to look at that mystery card. I do hope it's the Magician, but I don't think that it will. I haven't been too accurate in guessing the mystery card lately. Yeah, I don't know. That's all I'm really feeling. Let's see what it is. The Justice card. Balance, right? It's the equilibrium. This is about higher discernment. This is about you making choices based on priorities, right? Giving the appropriate attention to the things that need it, that require it, that deserve it. This is about making, we could kind of say it, making a fair choice or an ethical choice, but I feel like this is a higher discernment based on priorities. We're evaluating our lives. We're taking a good hard look at life. And we're saying, well, now, do I need to be bombarded by all this information? Or is there a better way that I could be using this 10 minutes of time? You know? So it's about that real-time judgment, evaluation. Now, we're not judging something's intrinsic value, right? I love watching TV. I love movies, I love YouTube, I love shopping, I love music. I love all of these kinds of things. I love reading the news, I love looking at the internet. But we have to judge its relative value in any particular moment. Is there something else I should be doing right now? But if we're not prioritizing ourselves, then we're going to say, nah, my dream, my insight, this flash of this revelation, this thought that I have, nah, it's not important. It's stupid. It can wait till later. It's all about priorities. Yeah. Anyway, we're going to do an extended reading. We'll do an I Ching reading. We'll do some oracle cards. There's a link in the corner, and there's a link down below. New readings for Virgo, usually Tuesday and Saturday. I feel like this was a necessary bonus reading for you. Okay. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, and leave a comment for me. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you, and I love you, and we're all in this together.